But you know, I'm not kind of ashamed about what I'm going to talk about here. Because as you can see up there on the titles, this is the same kind of question that Comic Reviewer 2 kind of asks. See, it's a question that I'm pretty sure some people might be interested in and some people may not be interested in. And that question, my friends, that question, as I check my camera again here, that question is how long two situations are going to take place in the main comic. One is how long is the Nicole being saddened, being lonely, being upset, and all that situation going to occur? And most importantly, how long is Sally going to stay a robot? Or be roboticized, I should say. Well, you see, Comic Reviewer kind of gave his thoughts on how long he thinks Sally will be a robot. He pretty much figures, give her another 10 issues, and she'll sort of be back to normal. And she'll be back to normal. Well, at least maybe have her free will back. And I pretty much can agree the same could be said for Nicole. Give Nicole maybe 10 more issues and she'll kind of get back together. Now, he did say that you include the 10 issues of the main comic, but as well as maybe a few issues of the upcoming new story arc in Sonic Universe. And you're kind of looking at 10 issues of the main comic, maybe 1 or 2 issues of the spin-off Universe comic, and you pretty much have about a year's worth of her right there in roboticized form. Now, everybody again has their difference of opinion on this whole situation. As a matter of fact, there's a topic made up at the Sega forums asking the very question, is the Mecha Sally deal becoming lame? Or is it lame? And believe it or not, from what I have seen, you have a majority of people responding to that topic by agreeing with the fact that it is lame. People have agreed to the fact that it is lame due to the fact that all this buildup is for this. A lot of people are agreeing to that because they feel it's just putting more spotlight on Sally. Its main focus is Sonic and Sally. Now, a lot of people would agree with that. I agree with that in some ways. And some people also feel that it's Ian Flynn's unnecessary way of adding more drama. Perhaps it is. But I guarantee you this. Whatever Ian Flynn's got planned leading up to 250, I agree with a lot of people on this. It better be good. It better be worth what he's putting us through right now. I'll give you an example. Last night, Monday Night Raw, after it went off the air, a lot of people here on the YT, YouTube, came out and did a review and said that Monday Night Raw last night was one of the better Raws they had seen in a long time. That basically it was a better presentation, it focused more on what it needed to focus on, and it allowed certain individuals, superstars if you will, to go back and be what people like about it. Like last night, they had CM Punk go back to doing his shoot kind of thing, his pipe bomb kind of thing. And people loved it. People liked it because that is the CM Punk they want to see. That's the CM Punk they're used to. Now, here's the thing. That was last night. Now the question is, can WWE keep it up in the eyes of these people that reviewed it? We'll have to see. Now, as far as the whole, how this relates to the whole Sally deal, if the payoff in the next few issues, in the next 4 to 5 issues is good, then the payoff is good. If it's not good, then we'll know. I mean, a lot of people pretty much have a lot of difference of opinions. Now, some people feel that Ian is losing his touch. He's losing his ability to do certain things, to write certain stories. Now, I'm not saying Ian Flynn isn't a bad writer. Like I've said before, he's potentially one of the better writers we've had. But the thing is, he's, again, losing a lot of focus in the eyes of some. He's not really doing the best he could. Now, there are some, like Ezekiel 300 and a few others out there, many others out there, that do support Ian and say, hey, look, he's better than what we have. He's better than what we've had in the past. That's true. He is. And yeah, he's done a few things that kind of answered a lot of questions, made a lot of sense in some way. But then again, he's done some things that people just, well, they don't feel was good. They don't feel was the right thing to do. That didn't make sense. Heck, it all goes back to the whole Genesis deal and the implage after Genesis. I mean, here you had Sonic restore the timeline, thus saving Sally from being killed. But what happens in the end? She ends up getting roboticized, and you make Sonic look like an idiot. But now you add in the factor that upcoming you have Silver being involved. Now, what does this mean? Does Silver finally find a traitor? Or does he have the ability to do what Nagas has already done, and that's restore Sally to normal, or at least go back in time and save Sally from being roboticized? I'm just saying. I mean, a lot of questions are going to be answered, folks. We know that. How, where, and when is another story. Now, again, going back to what Comic Reviewer 2 said, he basically states that he feels this whole thing, both situations, and now all three situations, including Bunny's derobotization, could last maybe 10 issues at least. Well, at least with Sally being a robot and Nicole's situation. Bunny, on the other hand, could only end up for a few issues. Now, the reason I say that is because here's the thing. What happens if Bunny suddenly hits her arm or something and she hears a clang? Does that kind of make sense a little bit? Exactly. Now, one thing again, though, that disturbs a lot of people, and I'm not sure Comic Reviewer 2 if you addressed this at all, is the last panel in 232 with the blowtorch in the main story. Now, a lot of people look at that, well, not a lot, but some people look at that and they think, you know, Ian Flynn's hurting the character even more. There's some people that say that this would is probably causing more unnecessary drama, and some would even say this is possibly trying to prevent her from being de-roboticized. I mean, you add on the rumor that someone started that Ian Flynn has said, oh, she's not going to be de-roboticized, then you kind of get the idea. You know, people would be worried. But you say only for 10 issues, and maybe by 250 she'll be back to normal. I'm pretty sure a lot of people would agree with that. Because it is kind of ironic that 250 is in the 20th year of Archie Comics' 20th anniversary of publishing the Sonic the Hedgehog comic. And it's kind of weird that it's also around the same year that's celebrating the 20th anniversary of Satayam. So you kind of get where I'm going. If he's got something planned, it better be good and it better be worth it. Now, but the only question, though, a lot of people have is he still going to be on the comic by the time that all occurs? Or will somebody else take over and finish it up for him? We don't know. But here's my thoughts. I agree that the whole Sally being controlled by Eggman and all that will last maybe about the same time length as you're saying, maybe an issue or two less. Maybe an issue or two less, or maybe even up to 245. So that way, when she does regain her free will, she'll even try her best to find ways to de-roboticize herself. Now, this is instrumental into basically you can play in